whenever I've done mock tests and I ask this question to young people who are going, they kind of say, well, I don't work and I don't study yet. And it's like, well, you can't say that to the examiner. They pick one and talk about it, would you?
Hello, lovely, and welcome into this super video. We're gonna be talking about studies. This is an IELTS speaking part 1 topic. It's evergreen because it's always there. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and we're the hosts of the IELTS Speaking for Success podcast, where we give you model answers for the most recent IELTS speaking topics.
As you know, dear listener, the examiner always chooses to ask you about accommodation, work, or studies, right? These are the most common IELTS speaking part 1 topics. That's why we're going to discuss studies today. So watch, listen, and think about your answers. Rory, are you ready?
I am good to go because I both work and study, so I can talk about both.
Do you work or are you a student?
I'm doing a postgrad in primary teaching at Dundee University.
Why did you choose this subject?
Well, I need this particular qualification to become a primary school teacher in Scotland, so it was less of a choice and more of a necessity, really.
If you had the chance, would you change the subject?
I'd change some of the content if I could, but not the subject, since it's my passion in life and I really want to do it.
Is there something that helps you to study efficiently?
Other than my brain, I have a file where I keep all my material that I download from the online learning platform that the university has. The platform itself is quite well organized, but I prefer to do things in my own way, and it means I can combine all the documents and material from the university with those that I make and gather while doing my own practical work outside of university.
And is there anything you dislike about your studies?
I think dislike might be a little bit strong. I suppose some of the people that I do my course with could be a little bit more resilient at times because nobody likes to listen to people complain, do they?
And what's more essential for you, lecturers or friends?
At university, I would definitely say the lecturers, since they are sort of the fonts of knowledge I need to pass. But I made a lot of friends and acquaintances who help out from time to time as well.
Is there anything you want to change in your university?
Well, I could do without some of the social justice aspects, not because I don't believe in that, but because I don't think it needs to be explained to people who are going into public service. Also, when I get bored in these particular classes, I get quite mischievous and make up silly answers.
Do you plan to get a job in the same field as your subject?
Well, absolutely. It's the only choice, and the course is sort of purpose-built for this. I'm really looking forward to becoming a fully qualified teacher.
And is it difficult to study for you?
No, it's been pretty smooth sailing so far, actually.
Thank you, Rory, for your answers. Cool. Right, so the question is, the first question, do you work or are you a student? So if you choose to talk about studies, then you talk about your studies. So Rory said that I'm doing a postgrad in primary teaching at Dundee University. So first of all, it's at a university, at Dundee University. Dundee is a place in Scotland. Okay? Yeah.
It's the 4th largest city, if you must know.
Oh, is it a city? I thought it's a tiny village. Okay, it's a city.
Right, hold on a minute.
Anyway.
I need to find this out because people keep asking me. I want to know how many people live in Dundee. Right, let me find. So, actually, the population, it's the 4th largest city, and the population is 148,000 as of, 2020.
So pretty much the population of my neighborhood in Moscow. Okay.
I love it when people ask, especially Russian people, they never stop to think, and they're just like, oh, it's 100,000 people. Oh, it's a village then. So, okay.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent just because people keep asking me things.
Yes, can we please talk about studies already? Please.
All right, come on
so
then.
We can say that I'm doing a postgrad. So what does it mean, postgrad?
That just means, it's the longer version is postgraduate course. And that means that it's a course that you do after you graduate the first time. So here it's a postgraduate certificate, but other postgraduate courses include master's courses or PhDs. So if you were doing that, then you could say, I'm doing a PhD or I'm doing a postgrad course, and that would work quite nicely.
Yeah, or you can say I'm doing a degree in teaching, or I'm doing a degree in mathematics, right, or in physics, or in biology at blah blah university. Can I say, for example, if it's not my postgraduate course, but I'm just like a student after school, so I left school, I entered university, so now I'm a first year student, I'm a second year student. What do you say?
Absolutely. Or I'm in my second year or in my third year.
Yeah, at university, and my major is mathematics. So if the main subject is mathematics, so then you can say I'm majoring in mathematics, right?
Although this is quite important because some people take IELTS before they go into university, actually, and they're in high school or they've been in high school and they haven't started working yet. So they might want to say, I'm planning to do I'm planning to do a degree at blah blah university in whatever subject. So that's an important thing, because whenever I've done mock tests and I ask this question to young people who are going, they kind of say, well, I don't work and I don't study yet. And it's like, well, you can't say that to the examiner. They pick one and talk about it, would you?
Yeah, even if you don't work and you don't study, just like pick one and imagine, right? Again, coming back to this major, what do you say? I'm majoring at mathematics or in mathematics?
I'm majoring in mathematics, but that's really only, usually anyway, it's an American thing to do a major and a minor. I imagine there are courses like that in the UK, but usually we just talk about the main title of the degree. So in this case, it would be like, I'm doing primary teaching, for example.
Or I'm doing a degree in biology, a degree in physics. Okay, and then I chose this qualification because blah, blah, blah. So this is a qualification or degree or kind of education, right? And Rory wants to be a school teacher in Scotland.
Because I've completely lost my mind.
Yeah. Make sure you use the second conditional. So I'd change some of the content, I'd change some of the subjects if I could, right? So, or I'd change this and that if I could. Yeah, the second conditional. When Rory told us about what helps him to study more efficiently, Rory said, cracked a joke. Other than my brain, yeah, you can say that,
It's important to point out it's with the question intonation, so it's like, other than my brain, like, I don't know what else. And then you find something to talk about in more detail.
And Rory, you study online, right? Or most of the studies are online on this platform, yeah?
No, it's a blended course. So it's some of the inputs are online and some of the inputs are in person. So we could talk about blended learning, or it's a mixed course, or there are some online and face-to-face components. I didn't mention any of that. I just mentioned there's an online platform, because most universities have those these days, don't they?
So lecturers or friends, yeah? Who is more important? And Rory say, I would definitely say the lecturers. And then he goes, since. It means because. They are the fonts of knowledge. Rory, could you comment on the fonts? Does it mean the fountains of knowledge?
A font of knowledge is just a place where knowledge comes from. It's not a particularly difficult idea. You just it's better than saying because they know things. Instead, you say they're a font of knowledge. It's fantastic.
And then speaking about the changes in your university, you can say I could do without some of the subjects. So I could do without philosophy.
I could do without the basics, or I could do without philosophy 101 because I had it in high school, for example.
Yeah, you can say that I get bored, some subjects are dull, so I would remove. So if I could, I'd, you see the second conditional again. And then Rory said that he gets mischievous or mischievous. Mischievous or mischievous, he's like,
I do. I'm really bad for this. And I should say, if you do a course at university, you probably shouldn't do this, but I just give silly answers to questions when it's like really dumb questions.
Yeah, so Rory gets mischievous or mischievous, right? Kind of a little bit naughty. Yeah? Our Rory. Boy. Okay. Then what would you like to do in the future? Will you study the same thing in the future, or will you get a job in the same field in the future? And Rory says, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if you are not planning to use this knowledge in the future, you can say, no, I'd like to choose some other subjects, or what else can we say? Or I'd like to change, or I'd like my career to be connected with finance.
Yeah, or even if we're looking for words other than change, like I'd like to switch over to a different subject.
Yeah, or you can say, if you're not sure, you can say, I'm in two minds about that, so maybe I'll work in this sphere in the future, or I'll switch over to finance, right? Or teaching English, right? Okay, cool. The examiner also can ask you questions about some difficult things. And Rory, what did you say? What was difficult? No, not difficult, like something you disliked.
Well, I just said that dislike is very strong because the course is largely fine. It's just some things that I could either do without, so it's not really necessary for me, or there's some behaviors that people have that aren't really necessary either, like just small things like complaining about things rather than actually solving problems. I don't feel that's like a productive use of time.
Right. Okay, so could you please let us know, do you work or are you a student? What are you studying? What's your major? Are you doing a degree in teaching, in biology, in, I don't know, finance, in what? Okay, so write in the comments what you are studying. Again, if you choose to talk about work, we're gonna do work in our next video. All right, so this one pretty much is about studies. You can also listen to our audio podcast. We discussed studies several times because it's this ongoing topic, right? Because usually the examiner asks you either about accommodation or about work or studies. That's why we discuss studies several times. Thank you very much for listening, and bye.
See you next time. Bye.